Here today to discuss connective and supportive tissues. So what are connective and supportive tissues? Connective and supportive tissues are mostly derived from mesoderm, and it is composed of various cells and fibers in an amorphous ground substance. The latter two components comprise the extracellular matrix, which typically predominates over the cellular elements. So what are the function of connective and supportive tissues? So first, they connect other tissues, they provide framework, support the entire body through cartilage and bones, play an important role in the thermoregulation and defense and repair mechanisms, and lastly, they serve as a reservoir for various hormones and cytokines that play an important role in growth and development. So the extracellular matrix is composed of ground substance and fibers. Ground substance are composed of glycoproteins and glycosaminoglycans and forms a well-hydrated gel that fills the spaces between cells, fibers, and vessels of connective tissue. It acts as a reservoir for interstitial fluid, also called tissue fluid, providing a medium through which oxygen, nutrients, and metabolic byproducts diffuse to and form cells of various tissues and the vascular system. And fibers can be further classified into collagenous reticular and elastic fibers that occur in the connective tissue. So there are three types of connective tissue fibers, which are the collagen, reticular, and elastic fibers, and in addition, fibrous adhesive proteins such as fibronectin and laminin bind structural fibers together or help cells to attach to the connective tissue matrix. So what are collagen fibers? Collagen fibers are the principal fiber type in mature connective tissues. Their collagen peptide chains are synthesized in the RER as pro-alpha chains that contain extension peptides, also called propeptides at both ends, and can be classified as either fibril-forming, facet or fibril-associated collagens with interrupted triple helices, sheet-forming, multiplexing, connecting and anchoring, or transmembrane collagen. All in all, there are 27 collagen types that are currently recognized. First, we're going to discuss about the fibril-forming collagen. So, fibril-forming collagen assemble in the extracellular matrix to form collagen fibrils. And this band of collagen fibrils form collagen fibers that are visible by light microscopy. So, fibril-forming collagen includes types 1, 2, 3, 5, 11, 24, and 27. So, type 1 can be found in the skin, tendon, bone, and dentin, and it also comprises of 90% of the collagen in the body. Type 2 is found in cartilage and vitreous humor. Type 3 is essential for normal collagen 1 fibrillogenesis. Type 5 is found in fetal tissues and the placenta. Type 11 is found in the hyaline cartilage. And type 24 is distributed in developing cornea and bone. Second is the facet collagens or the fibril-associated collagens with interrupted triple helices. These collagens serve as molecular bridges that are important in the organization and stability of extracellular matrices. The types included in this are the type 9, type 12, type 14, type 20, type 21, and type 22. So type 9 links collagen 2 to glycosaminoglycans. Type 20 is prevalent in corneal epithelium. Type 21 is found in the extracellular matrix of blood vessel walls. And type 22 is found in the extracellular matrix at tissue junctions. In addition to that, types 16 and 19 are unable to bind fibers and are referred to as facet-like collagens. So next are the sheet-forming collagen, and this sheet-forming collagen forms a flexible framework of sheets rather than fibrils. So included in these are the types 4, 8, and 10. Type 4 forms the basal lamina of the epithelia. Type 8 forms the posterior limiting lamina of the eye. and type 10 is found in the hypertrophic zone of the physis. Next are the connecting and anchoring collagen. Connecting and anchoring collagen binds to the surface of the fibril forming collagen and may mediate the interactions of fibrils with one another and with other matrix components. So, included in these are the types 6 and 7. Type 6 forms unique beaded filaments, and type 7 forms anchoring fibrils that link collagen type 4 of the basal lamina of the epidermis to the collagen of the underlying connective tissue. So next are transmembrane collagens. This type of collagen includes types 13, type 17, types 23, and type 25. So type 17 is associated with the hemidesmosomes and mutates in diseases that causes blisters. While type 23 is associated with metastatic tumor cells and type 25 is found in the neuronal collagen. Next type is the multiplexins or multiple triple helix domains and interruptions. These are collagens that are associated with the basement membranes, and this classification includes types 15 and 18 of the collagen. Next is the collagen 26, which is unclassified and found in the testes and ovary. Next type of fiber are reticular fibers, identified only with certain silver impregnations or with the periodic acid shift reagent. They form delicate, flexible networks around capillaries, muscle fibers, nerves, adipose cells, and hepatocytes. They also serve as a scaffolding to support cells or cell groups of endocrine, lymphatic, and blood-forming organs. They are also an integral part of the basement membranes. As you can see here in the picture, these are an example of reticular fibers that are found in the liver and the lymph node. The next type of fibers are elastic fibers, and they are found in organs that need elasticity in order to function normally, in addition to tensile strength. They can be stretched as much as 2 and 1/2 times their original length, and to which they return to when they release. Elastic fibers can be found in the pinna of the ear, vocal cords, epiglottis, lungs, ligamentum nuchae, dermis, aorta, and muscular arteries. Also, elastic fibers are one of the most resilient tissue fibers, withstanding even chemical maceration and autoclaving. They usually occur as individual, branching, or anastomosing fibers, and their diameters vary within a wide range from 0.2 to 5 millimeters in loose connective tissue to as large as 12 millimeters in elastic ligaments. The main component of elastic fibers is elastin, which contains a network of fibrillin microfibrils that form a supporting scaffold for the elastin. The secondary component of elastic fiber is 10 nanometer microfibrils that are embedded within and surround the elastic core. The microfibrillar material is composed of a glycoprotein, which is called fibrillin, which is necessary for elastic fiber integrity. Developmentally, the elastic fiber is the last fiber to appear in organs or connective tissue. And the picture below is an example of an elastic fiber. So next are the fibrous adhesive proteins. Fibrous adhesive proteins play a role in organizing the matrix and help cells adhere to it. First type is the fibronectin, which is a major product of mesenchymal cells. It is a fibril-forming protein that binds to various structures including the cell membrane, collagen, elastin, and proteoglycans, and probably mediates the connection between the cytoskeleton and the extracellular matrix. Fibronectin plays a role in a variety of processes such as cell adhesion, cell differentiation, cell growth, and phagocytosis. Next is the laminins. Laminins are large glycoproteins. They are a major constituent of the basement membrane and are synthesized by the cells that are in contact with it. It is present in the lamina lucida, also called lamina rara, and lamina densa. They are connected to the type 4 collagen by the adhesive glycoprotein called nidogen. They form a structural network in the basement membrane to which the other glycoproteins and proteoglycans attach. Also, there are signaling cell molecules that stabilize cell receptors. Other adhesive glycoproteins include fibrinogen, which is used in blood clotting mechanism, link protein, which links the cartilage matrix components, mucins, tenasins, which are found in the embryonic tissues, and thrombosphodin, which is found in platelet aggregation. Those are the types of connective tissue. So first are the mesenchymal cells. Mesenchymal cells are irregularly shaped with multiple processes that are smaller than fibroblasts, and they also have fewer cytoplasmic organelles. These cells serve as a reservoir of pluripotent cells, and they can differentiate into other types of connective tissue cells as needed. Next are the fibrocytes and fibroblasts. Fibrocytes are the most numerous of the cells found in the connective tissues. They are elongated and spindle-shaped with processes that contact adjacent cells and fibers, and they are responsible for synthesizing collagen, elastin, and reticular fibers, and also maintaining the ground substance. Next, fibroblast is the active form, and it is elongated and also spindle-shaped, and it has an abundant cytoplasm and an oval or cigar-shaped nucleus. It is found in sites of active repair or growth, and in certain situations, they can differentiate into adipose cells, chondroblasts, or osteoblasts. Next are myofibroblasts. These are fibroblasts that contain actin filaments which are associated with dense bodies, and these resemble smooth muscle cells. It is believed that myofibroblasts play a role in the contraction of wound during healing. Next are reticular cells. These are similar in appearance to fibrocytes, and they produce reticular fibers which form the fine structural network of organs such as the lymph nodes, spleen, and bone marrow. These types of cells are fixed in the tissue and are capable of phagocytosis. Next are adipocytes, also called adipose cells or fat cells. These can be divided into two, the unilocular adipocytes and the multilocular adipocytes. Unilocular adipocytes are called white adipocytes or white fat cells, and they produce chemical energy and also leptin, which is a protein which regulates the amount of adipose tissue in the body. Most of the cell is occupied by a single large non-membrane bounded lipid droplet. Meanwhile, multilocular adipocytes are called brown adipocytes or brown fat cells, and they metabolize lipids to produce heat. So they produce heat because they have thermogenin, which is a transmembrane protein in the mitochondria, because it channels protons away from ATP synthesis and into heat production instead. So in multilocular adipocytes, the nucleus is more centrally located and it has multiple droplets in the cytoplasm instead of just one large droplet. So the reason why multilocular adipocytes are brown is because there is a high concentration of cytochromes in the mitochondria. So these are the pictures of the adipocytes. Next are pericytes. Pericytes are elongated cells that are located adjacent to the endothelium lining capillaries and postcapillary venules. Some proposed functions include the regulation of capillary blood flow and serving as a multipotent mesenchymal cell with a specific ability to form vascular smooth muscle cells, phagocytosis, and regulating capillary growth. They also have the ability to differentiate into adipocytes, osteoblasts, and phagocytes. Next are mast cells. Mast cells are common in loose connective tissue, especially around the nerve endings and microcirculation found in the dermis of the skin and connective tissue of the respiratory tract and gastrointestinal system. They can be activated to degranulate their contents, which are histamine, heparin, and also various proteases, by physical stimuli such as trauma or sunlight, in immunogenic stimuli such as immunoglobulin, complement, or cytokines, and also neurogenic stimuli such as neuropeptides. Mast cells can be classified into three, which is the MCT, MCTC, and MCC. MCT, also called mucosal mast cell, only contains tryptase, and MCTC, which is the connective tissue mast cell, contains tryptase, chymase, carboxypeptidase, and cathepsin. And the third mast cell type, which is called MCC, has chymase and carboxypeptidase. So, regarding the content of the mast cell contains histamine, and heparin. Histamine is a biogenic amine that is a vasoconstrictor that causes increased permeability of small venules, thereby permitting leakage of plasma, resulting in tissue edema. This localized inflammatory reaction is designed to dispose of foreign antigens rapidly. This also stimulates smooth muscle contraction in small airways, which is why if we have allergic reactions, we usually take antihistamine to relieve us of this reaction. And also heparin is a glycosamino. Heparin is a glycosaminoglycan which acts as an anticoagulant and is believed to stimulate angiogenesis. Next are macrophages. Macrophages are large, ovoid, or spherical cells that contain cytoplasmic vacuoles and are derived from the bone marrow precursor cell that produces monocytes that then migrate to become macrophages. So there are two types of macrophages, the mobile macrophage and the fixed macrophage. Mobile macrophage wander through the tissues performing their phagocytosis, while fixed macrophages, also called histiocytes, remain in one location only. Macrophages migrate to locations in the body and engulf foreign material such as cell debris, abnormal matrix components, neoplastic cells, bacteria, and inert substances by pinocytosis and phagocytosis. They also act as an antigen-presenting cell which produces and displays foreign substance so that lymphocytes can recognize and respond more effectively to the foreign substance. They also synthesize and secrete many substances including enzymes such as lysozyme which can lyse the wall of many bacteria, cytokines, complement components, coagulation factors, and reactive chemical species which are all important components of their bactericidal and cytocidal activity. So this is a picture of a macrophage containing abundant pinocytotic vacuoles, which are these ones, and phagolysosomes, which is this one. So next are plasma cells. Plasma cells are also spherical, ovoid, or pear-shaped with a spherical eccentric nucleus. Plasma cells are most numerous in the lymphatic tissue, especially in the center of medullary cords of lymph nodes. They are also particularly abundant in the bone marrow, the loose connective tissue underlying the epithelium of the gastrointestinal tract, the respiratory system, and the female reproductive system. They are also involved in the immune response and they represent the cellular source of circulating immunoglobulin, also called the antibody. Next are pigment cells. Pigment cells are responsible for the production of melanin in domestic animals or pteridines and purines in fish and amphibians. When present in large numbers, they impart color to the connective tissue. They also occur in various locations such as the dermis, uterine caruncles of sheep, meninges, choroid, and iris. Lastly, other cells of loose connective tissue, and depending on its location and various other factors, loose connective tissues may contain a varying number of lymphocytes, monocytes, and granulocytes. Globule leukocytes are mononuclear cells with acidophilic and metachromatic cytoplasmic granules. These cells are found in the epithelium and connective tissues of the respiratory, digestive, reproductive, and urinary systems. These are also believed to be mucosal mast cells, but their origin as a subpopulation of T lymphocytes has also been proposed. So next are the types of connective tissue. So there are 6 main types of connective tissue, and these are the embryonic connective tissue, adult connective tissue, cartilage, bone, blood, and bone marrow. So embryonic connective tissue is further classified into the mesenchyme and mucus, and adult connective tissues is further classified based on the variation of quantity and arrangement of fibers within the matrix, and these are the loose or areolar, dense, reticular, elastic, and adipose. So embryonic connective tissue has mesenchyme, which is a connective tissue of the embryo and is composed of irregularly shaped mesenchymal cells and amorphous ground substance. The cells of this connective tissue undergo numerous mitotic cell divisions and continuously change their shape and location to adapt to the transformations that occur during embryonic growth. During early development, the mesenchyme chyme does not contain any fibers, and the abundant amorphous ground substance fills the wide intercellular space. This also gives rise to various types of adult connective tissues as well as blood and blood vessels. Next are the mucous or gelatinous connective tissue. This is found primarily in the embryonic hypodermis and umbilical cord. It is characterized by stellate fibroblasts that form a network, and large intercellular spaces are occupied by a viscous gel-like amorphous ground substance that has a positive reaction for glycosaminoglycans or proteoglycans. Collagen fibers such as type 1 and 3 are also present. In the adult organism, gelatinous connective tissue also occurs, but it occurs only in the papillae of omasal laminae and reticular crests, the bovine glands penis, and the core of the rooster comb. Next are the types of adult connective tissue. First is the loose or areolar connective tissue. This is most widely distributed type of connective tissue in the adult mammal. In here, cells and fibers are widely separated by spaces filled with ground substance. And in here, cells are more abundant. So it contains all three fiber types, which are reticular, collagen, and elastic. It also provides support and a vascular supply to many epithelia and forms the interstitial tissue in most organs, thereby allowing easy movements and shifting of organs. Pia mater and arachnoid of the brain and spinal cord are also composed of this tissue. The functions of loose connective tissue range from the purely mechanical, such as support and dampening biomechanical effects in various locations, to more sophisticated functions such as participation in tissue repair and defense activities like during inflammation. Next type is the dense connective tissue, where fibers in dense connective tissues are more abundant than cells and amorphous ground substance. These are commonly classified as either dense irregular connective tissue with the random orientation of the fiber bundles, or dense regular connective tissue in which fibers are oriented in a regular pattern. This connective tissue also includes ligaments and tendons. Next are the reticular connective tissue. The stroma of all lymphatic organs, diffuse lymphatic tissue, solitary lymphatic nodules, and bone marrow is made up of this connective tissue. And it is composed of stellate reticular cells and a complex three-dimensional network of reticular fibers. Next are the adipose tissue or fat. This is a specialized type of connective tissue that, in addition to performing insulation and mechanical functions, they also play an important role in the metabolism of the organism. In mammalian subcutaneous connective tissue, the adipose tissue component serves as a thermal and mechanical insulator. In the foot pads and digital cushions, adipose tissue is associated with bundles of collagen and elastic fibers. This combination of fibers and fat cells allows the adipose tissue to act as a dampening cushion because the collagen fibers have great tensile strength that protects the adipose tissue, and the elastic fibers allow the adipose cells to return to normal shape even after the formation. So there are two types of adipose tissue, which are the white adipose tissue and brown adipose tissue. White adipose tissue cells are separated by septa of loose connective tissue into clusters of adipose cells, which are referred to as lobules. Each adipose cell is surrounded by a delicate network of collagen and reticular fibers that supports a dense capillary plexus and nerve fibers. Next are the brown adipose tissue, or also called brown fat. These are composed of aggregates of multilocular adipocytes, and it consists of fibrocytes, collagen, and reticular fibers. It is also particularly common and abundant in rodents and hibernating animals. It is located primarily in the axillary and neck regions along the thoracic aorta and in the mediastinum and in the mesenteries, and also around the abdominal aorta and vena cava near the kidney. Brown fat may also be found in the same locations in other domestic animals. So this is a picture of a loose connective tissue, the first picture. Then the second picture is a picture of dense irregular connective tissue. And the third picture is a picture of a dense regular connective tissue. And this is a picture of reticular fibers. Lastly, these are root words that will help us understand the meaning of some terms better. First is the adipo from adipose or adipocyte, which means fat. Second is the areola from areolar or loose connective tissue, which means a little open space. Third is the fibro, which means fiber, which is used in the terms fibroblast and fibrocyte, and phage, which means eat, which is used by the macrophage and which is used also in phagocytosis. Next is the reti, which means a net or a network, and this is used in the word reticular.